YouTube and welcome to the channel. Now then, today's video is going to be concerning this. It's our HBX 901A brushless buggy. It's going to be a bit of a torture test, this. I have seen a video where you can run the stock version of this on 3S. So that's precisely what we're going to do today. We're going to try 3S packing it, see how fast it goes. But it's going to be doubly stressful for the ESC because we've actually got that hot 5000 kV Surpass Hobby motor in it. So, is it going to be too much for the ESC? Well, we're going to find out in a minute. This thing basically did a top speed of 34.4 miles an hour on 2S with that motor in. So, we're going to try it on 3S. Hopefully, it won't melt. Now, before we go out and try this thing on 3S, you may or may not remember the Surpass Hobby installation video. We had a few issues, especially with cooling. So what I've tried to do is basically rectify it before we go out. So I sort of jury-rigged an old fan and radiator there onto the motor, and I've used the LED output on the ESC to power it. And I've just found an old blue radiator off an old knackered ESC. And I sort of grafted it onto the top of the ESC's original cooling fins. So with a bit of luck, this rough looking assembly here should keep everything a little bit cooler. Right then, here we are outside, got the Speedo strapped to the back. Let's see if we can beat our PB with this thing on 3S. Right, that was short and sweet. I did a couple of very gentle runs and got 25 mile an hour out of it. Every time I tried to put or give it full throttle, it just cut out. I think I might have buggered the ESC actually, but still have it. On the plus side, my homemade bodged cooling fan on the motors works a treat. So basically, if I have knackered this ESC, it's pretty much having it now anyway. Right then, so that's pretty much answered that question. Will the stock electronics take 3S? In this case, no they won't. I mean, I know we're running a hotter motor, and it might just have been too much for it, but as soon as I gave it the beans, it just kept cutting out, and then it cut out completely and it doesn't do anything. It tries to restart every now and again. When I plug it in, I've tried it again, it just doesn't do anything. So I would avoid trying 3S on this, on the stock electronics, if I were you. However, we're not going to be beaten on this channel. I have got some spare electronics and some spare radio gear. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to uprate the ESC. We're going to take the one off the Flyhal FC610, the 60 amp job, and I'm going to put the radio gear from my Flysky on here, and we're going to take it out and try it again. Okay, we're pretty much ready to rock and roll. Just about managed to shoehorn the Surpass Hobby 60 amp ESC between the motor and the servo. I did have to cut a little bit off the servo retaining bracket at the top to get it to fit, but it's still quite secure. We've got our little receiver sat on top of the servo mount. I've managed to keep the cooling fan active by soldering the appropriate connector onto it so we can plug it directly into the receiver. I had to put some more bullet connectors on the motor to match the ones on the ESC, but that's everything done now. The only thing left to do is try it. Now, unfortunately, I'm waiting for some spare parts for me big car, so I can't actually go too far, so we're gonna have to use my normal spot, which probably isn't big enough to test the full potential of this thing, but it'll have to do for the time being. So anyway, let's go and try it. Right then, we're outside now and the speedo is zeroed. I'm going to do a few gentle runs to see how it handles it, and then we'll go for it really. Like I said earlier, this spot isn't really suitable anymore, but unfortunately there's nothing I can do about it today. Right, we've had a couple of steady runs and the top speed is 47.1 miles an hour, and I tell you what, this thing did that without breaking a sweat. Unfortunately, like I said to you in the past, this road is far too short and I can't get the top speed out of it, but there's loads more to come out of this. It literally did that dead easy. I'm going to try and get 50, but I don't think I'm going to be able to be honest. Right, I'm going to call it a day. It's just started to rain, and one of my elastic bands that holds the Speedo box onto the rear wing has snapped. So my Speedo ended up in a hedge. I really don't want to damage my speedometer, so what we'll have to do is find a nice arrow straight road that's reasonably local that we can try this. I'm sure there's easy 50 miles an hour in this. Right then, back inside. Now then, the question is, would I recommend anyone run 3S on their stock 901 electronics? And I'm going to have to say, in this case, no. I know that some lads have had some success. I know that if you go to Beyond RC's, his YouTube channel, he's run his on 3S and had no issues. I mean, it might be that we're running a fruity motor as well, and the draw through the ESC was just a little bit too much. But in my case, 3S on the stock electronics, it pretty much fried it. Anyway, there are some plus points to come out of this. The first of which is my little homemade fan and radiator worked an absolute treat. The motor stayed dead cool. It was literally warm, that was it. But before, when I tried it, even running it on 2S, it got absolutely red hot. But this time, none of that. Nice and cool to the touch. The other good thing is we set a new PB for the channel, 47 miles an hour, which is approximately 76 kilometers an hour. That was pretty straightforward. This thing didn't even break a sweat. I'm sure if the road had been a bit longer, that's what we're going to have to do next time. Go and find a proper decent road. I know we keep saying this. Find a proper decent road. I would have seen 50 miles an hour out of this easy. That 60 amp ESC is probably finally giving that high kV motor what it needs with regards to amps. So 50 would have been dead easy. And one of the other positives that came out of this was the fact that you realise how durable HBXs are. I mean, the transmission has given me no jip whatsoever. I must have cartwheeled down the road God knows how many times trying to get the best out of it. I mean, these tyres aren't up to the job, but these HBXs really are built to last. I haven't got a bad word to say against them. If you're interested in the bits that I've used so far with the HBX, I will leave some affiliate links in the description to where I got them from and what they are, etc. And as ever, if you've enjoyed the video and you found it of some use and interest, please give it a big thumbs up. And if you're feeling that way inclined, hit that subscribe button for more similar future content. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll catch you again very soon.